What's happening?
I don't know.
It's a happening.
It's a happening.
To quote the great Gorilla Monsoon.
Deep Gorilla Mansion? There. What?
Deep cut there.
Yeah. What's happening? It's happening. Yeah, I don't know. I helped my grandma pay her bills today, so that was fun.
Well, there you go. Crit number 4.
Yeah. I get it. You want to talk about comics. I was talking about life.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I mean,
how silly of me. Comics are life. What was I thinking?
I don't know. I've got this big dude with a shield on a cover.
Whoa, he is a big dude with a shield. It's on fire.
And a fiery sword.
Fire sword.
And then we got another cover.
It's got skulls and crossbones.
Versus the guy. It's kind of cool.
Ooh.
And we got another cover, which is my favorite cover, with the Spectre and the drunk cat.
Yeah, that one's actually that one's the coolest. I like it.
That is clearly the best cover.
It is pretty cool. Although it is kind of like, what are you going to be doing with those photos, man? Are you putting them up on Instagram? Are you making a video? Is it a TikTok? I'm confused. And I mean, wouldn't somebody be calling some sort of...
I'm going to mess up his name. Semedi?
Semedi.
Semedi. Smedi. Speedy.
Meaty.
Smedi. He probably wanted those pictures.
Oh,
he
okay.
Probably needs them for his lady cat friends.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Or male cat friends. I don't want to...
Could be.
I have no idea. Yeah.
I will say, we got, like, when you do pop onto that page, right, onto the next page, it tells us, gives us our, like, C.R.I.T, and gives us all the goodness. But you know what's missing in our welcome, like, and tells us who these characters are? There should be a little spot for Semedi. Why did I call Semedi?
Yeah, there should be.
There should be. Now I'm kind of sad.
Well, where have we left off? We just covered crit C.R.I.T number 3, but previously in C.R.I.T without the dots. But then we get the dots again. That keeps bugging me.
It's bugging you so much.
Crit narrowly escaped their fight with the Masters of Mayhem, leaving them with more questions than answers. Who are they? How did they get their powers? And what does Alchemex have to do with them? Richter has provided the team with some intel that may help solve these questions. A group of superpowered criminals has been attacking businesses in Roswell, Georgia.
What?
Roswell, Georgia. Okay.
Roswell.
The team is off to find out if these attacks are tied to the Masters of Mayhem or Mom, or if they are something new. Welcome to Georgia with Boulder, Spectre, Caliber, and Reach. And we've got a story by Christopher Michael, Austin Ferguson, Brad Haynes, Obie Darcy, Ryan Kidd, Terreyl Haynes, illustrated by Christopher Michael, cover by Mo Lubisan and Nestor Redulla Jr. Got some variant covers too, lettered by Christopher Michael, colors by Christiano Cruz, Semedi cover by Robert Nix, because, hey, Semedi, there, I'll get it right.
Semedi.
I don't know. We need a pronunciation key. And edited by Brad Haynes, Terreyl, Wilkins, and Natalie Sahloff. And we are now ready to get started.
All right.
For crit number 4, Sticks and Bones.
Sticks and Bones. Different costumes.
What? Who? Whoa.
I'm sorry. I'm thrown for a loop. They look different, don't they?
Yeah, these costumes are interesting. Okay.
And even the art looks different. It's almost like...
The art does kind of look different. These guys look oddly familiar but different.
Oddly familiar but different. This is just something different. All right.
And
so
it appears that it appears Caliber is saying, I really can't believe in this day and age that an electronics store has that bad of a security system. And here we go.
Yeah.
And they're in Roswell, Georgia, and they're chatting.
Hanging out in front of a beat up, broke down, busted up store.
And it appears Boulder's saying they had some terrible thieves.
Oh, terrible.
They didn't take any money or high-end TVs, just some crappy security equipment. And we get down to the bottom of the page, and Spectre's like, hey, if Alchemex is mixed up in this, then it may be worse than we thought. Okay, so it looks like we jumped in the middle of something again.
Mm-hmm. We are in something.
And we get a call on the receiver that a gun shop is being robbed.
Oh, no.
That's always great.
It's not good.
And I'm not sure who's talking to them in red, but blue would be Reach, right? So
I think so.
So it looks like Reach is saying dangerous. These guys are hurling fireballs. Dispatch. Okay, so. All right, so they're headed with their fancy gray suits. This looks like, doesn't it kind of remind you of like early 90s when all the teams had to have like the same sort of, they need pockets, right?
Yeah.
Pouches. They need
pouches, mini
They
pouches.
try to give everybody like the same looking suit.
Yeah.
Like when they gave the X-Men all the same suits.
With the color scheme. Yeah,
actually, I would just pass the early 90s a little bit. That was that like Frank Quietly. I always mess it up.
I don't know.
Art.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool art, but, you know, they tried to give them all the exact same uniforms, which is interesting. With jackets and pockets. Of course, they did that to the Legion in like 1989.
How'd you feel about that?
At the time, I didn't feel real good about it. I didn't like it at all.
And how do you feel about it now?
When I read it again, I like the stories. I think they were ahead of their time. I have a lot more deeper understanding of the book, but still, I mean, I thought that Giffen art is unique. I'll say it that way. I don't know that it was my favorite. I mean, at the time, I was looking for superhero teams like we were reading in this book. And then all of a sudden, they're like grown-ups and serious and dark.
And you're like, what? Why?
It's kind of like what happened. Yeah, kind of like the beginning of the story. I'm not sure exactly what happened because they're all in different uniforms.
And I'm like, what? 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 Did you just... Huh?
But we get strap in, boys. It's time to deploy Kenny Loggins' mixtape number 7.
Oh, mixtape number 7. Oh.
I didn't know Kenny Loggins could have 7 mixtapes.
I guess if you just mix it up, you can.
I guess they're going to the danger zone. What do? You could play Highway to the Danger Zone like over and over again.
Over and over.
You play Highway to the Danger Zone and then like the Winnie the Pooh song?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, Kenny Loggins.
Highway to the Danger Zone and then House at Pooh Corner.
Did he do House of Pooh Corner?
Well, why would you not know that?
I don't know that.
Really?
I honestly don't. That's why I'm asking. I want to know.
Yes. They did House at Pooh Corner, Loggins and Messina.
Okay.
Along with a remake of Danny's song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
you know
Mama Don't Dance.
Your local
but your daddy
rock
don't
legend.
Rock and roll. You had no idea. Danger Zone.
Dan, the Danger Zone man.
Yeah, and then Danny's song, a song that my parents will still not admit I was named after.
Oh.
You know, even though they ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, even though it came about at the Bronx. You know, what year did they break up?
I don't know.
1976.
Oh.
71 to 76. I didn't know it was that early, but yeah.
Huh.
Danny's song, House at Pooh Corner, and Your Mama Don't Dance are their biggest hits. So I guess you could do a mixtape with their collection from there and then Kenny Loggins' post-career.
Interesting. I mean, these are, again,
facts. Crap. I didn't know that.
What?
Kenny Loggins is from Everett.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's a local boy.
Oh, you knew that.
I knew that.
Why would I know that?
I don't know. I thought you knew. I thought you knew everything, Loggins.
It's Kenny Loggins.
Kenny Loggins.
I also didn't know he was in the nitty gritty dirt band either. So there we go. Like, well, I am learning.
I guess now you can really make a 7 mixtapes.
That was the 76 to. Well,
and
there
that's
we go.
How you get 7 mixtapes.
I guess, yeah. I mean, he's got everything. You know,
insert your favorite Kenny Loggins lyrics here.
Era, right? So,
yeah. Wow.
Well, I am thoroughly impressed with this discussion of Kenny Loggins that we have drifted down, but
I'm trying so hard to hold on to the comic book conversation.
Well, it does say, okay, here we go from Boulder, and then it says, insert your favorite Kenny Loggins song lyrics here. So I would say, even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, you're just doing what they said.
Yeah. Wow. So we've made it all the way like 2 pages into the book, 2 or 3 pages into the book.
They got a whole new van, man.
And we get, I don't even know what insert song is, with age, you'll learn the appropriate insert song. Insert song is the greatest musical masterpiece of all time. So we will say, oh man, Danny's song is my jam. I don't even know what Danny's song is. With age, you'll learn to appreciate Danny's song. Danny's song is the greatest musical masterpiece of all time.
I find that utterly funny. Like, it's just too ridiculous, but good.
What if we did it this way?
Okay.
Oh man, Danny's song is my jam. I don't even know what Highway to the Danger Zone is. With age, you'll learn to appreciate Pooh Corner. What if we do it that way?
That also is funny too.
See, you're not always the funny one.
You're right. And then Caliber could be Nitty Gritty Dirt Band is the greatest musical masterpiece of all time.
Yeah, well, that's the band. So,
But no, I know, but they
musical
are.
act. Okay,
Yeah, musical. It's a musical masterpiece, Dan. The masterpiece.
We're still here, aren't we?
We haven't left the page yet. No,
Okay.
we haven't. But they got a new van. That's for sure.
Well, they get a new van every issue because they have to upgrade because they destroy their van every issue.
Yeah, it looks like they hit a police car now. Oh, crap.
Yeah. Wow. So they hit a police cruiser. Okay. Well, they round the last turn and suddenly an explosion sends a police cruiser flying toward them. So they didn't just like run over the police cruiser. I want to emphasize this.
Okay, yes. It's been thrown into their van, which has now destroyed their van.
And Spectre's like, Reach is going to be so pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, as we found out last issue, like Reach really even cares about them.
He does. They're his friends.
Well, he doesn't want them to be hurt. He just wants to betray them because he's an asshole.
He's a jerk.
Well, here we go. So we'll actually make it to the next page here.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. In my defense, I had the right of way.
Yeah, but we're the lucky one. Even though it's just begun, I think we're going to have a son.
Okay, next page. No, we're never going to get any further.
Why do we do this? Okay, so now we've got a van and we've got an officer coming out here, stand down. We've got injured over here. And then we get a thing and it says, it looks like he's saying, Austin and I can handle this. Go check on the people inside. Okay, so him and Spectre.
Yeah.
It's weird when we switch to first names in the middle of the story because I have to go back to the front page to remember who there are. Which actually is a reminder of what they did in Legion, because when they changed their uniforms, they started calling each other by their first names too, not their code names.
Interesting.
So if you were new to the book
to
and read the book in the past, you got different uniforms, kind of a different look, and then they're all calling each other by their first names. So you're like, oh, okay, well, who's this?
So this is much like Legion to you.
Well, I mean, just the experience. I mean, again, not trying to be critical, but and again, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I read these books a couple times, and I'm sure you get used to them. But when they start going by first names, I'm like back to the front of the book to make sure I knew who we're talking about. Which, thank goodness, we have the page there. But they made such an emphasis in the first 3 issues to all call each other by their code names, right?
Yeah, Spectre, Caliber, Boulder,
and have the funny pronouncements too, like, this is my bold punch. So
no one's bolder than me.
I was kind of used to that, and this feels different.
Yeah, I would have thought that he would have walked into the store with a Boulder Dash.
Exactly. Well, he's wearing his Boulder Dashes, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
probably.
Well, anyway, we've got Boulder talking to a bear.
Uh-huh. Boulder and the bear.
Yeah.
That's a story.
And he's got wow, that could be a story, but I don't know if it's appropriate for this book. Well, I'm all right, but them aliens busted up my shop. What do you mean aliens? He says, yeah, 3 of them, a big one and 2 little ones. One of them had a claw for a hand.
Oh, no.
This is shaping up to be something here. I would have think this guy, the shop owner, has claws for hands.
Looks like it.
And he's like, I'm a small business owner. My insurance don't cover damn alien invasions.
Oh.
And they find out what his name is David Denome? David Denome. Okay.
David Denome?
I like it. That's cute. And it's so cute that Boulder holds his face. He doesn't look that short, though. He looks taller than Boulder.
Yeah, he looks average size.
He don't look like a gnome. I don't know, kind of, I guess, in profile.
Maybe. Okay.
Anyway,
in stature.
He says he's going to give him an officer will be there to check on him. And he says, take this, though. And he says, free Boulder dashes. My boy, just to ask about these. So see, he is giving. Yeah, he is Boulder.
He's a giver.
He's like, make sure you tell the officer all about those aliens. And he's laughing at him. And, okay, so he said they're supposed to keep their mouth shut. So they're thinking, he's like, great job there, guys. You took a beating today, but you kept the public out of harm's way. This is very odd. Like, Caliber's being all friendly and complimentary to the police.
Yeah.
This seems weird. They seem out of character.
Kind of, sort of. It's almost like a character reset with these new suits.
Yeah, it's like they got to level 4 and everything just changed.
Are they even the same people?
I don't know. They got upgrades or something. And well, anyway, they're talking to the police officers, and he says, I just don't get it. I've never seen anything like this before. It was like they had superpowers or something. It seems like there's a lot of that going on. So we're back at the lab in the Technetic Labs Georgia branch, which must be a hotbed of high-tech people all together. Maybe they're by Georgia Tech.
Maybe.
And Reach is, hey, guys, welcome back. I heard things got crazy out there. While you're out there, I was able to track the suspects down with the data you provided and narrow down some things on our end. Well... Great. So Reach took care of everything.
Yeah. Good job, Reach. He reached into it and did it.
And he's got something they really need to see, which I'm terrified. So is everybody else. Obie, I swear, if this is some trick to get us to watch some other messed up thing you pulled off the dark web. I think that's word balloon supposed to be going toward Caliber. It's not a thought.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird.
Just kind of floating there. Well, I was just about to comment on it, right? It's like we went away from the thoughts that were in the colors of the person.
Yes.
But okay, I mean, that makes sense. I just think it's just an artistic error. Okay.
Also, you would think that Caliber would have liked that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do seem wildly out of character right now.
Just a little bit.
And Reach is like, don't be like that. I share only the best of the goodies. I mine out of the deep, dark reaches of the old internet. Besides, I know you guys enjoy them. I couldn't sleep for a week, says Spectre. So we're on to the next page. We've got the team banter going on.
Yep.
And now Reach managed to hook into the city's traffic cam system. How convenient. And nice. I went ahead and charged the damages of the van to your account, Caliber. You're welcome. Well, that's not very fair since police car got thrown at them. That's a little bit crazy. Anyway, now Boulder wants to know the name of the folks, and Reach is just being sarcastic, and we're still bantering to try to get back to the piece.
Yeah.
And then Pharaoh comes in. Hey, I know that guy. But he's got an outfit too.
Wait, who's Pharaoh?
It's like he joined Checkmate. This is Maxwell Lord. This is the boss, right?
Is it the boss?
I think so.
And he's now in a suit? I'm confused.
You have to keep reading to find out what happened.
Okay.
Good work out there today. He is clearly the boss. He talks like him. The local police chatters raving about how, this is definitely him. You just kept calling him Maxwell Lord, and that's why it all started with you.
Okay. It's all my fault.
Yeah. So no need to be modest, he says. Not every day that we get to see our security team partnering up with local law enforcement during a high-profile robbery. So how goes the investigation? And Reach says, well, that depends on how good the data you brought us on Alchem X is. I said it right. Alchem X is. And he says, well, I only browsed it, but I think you'll be happy with what you see. It looks like they've been beefing up security since the time these guys came around. And so, all right, and they're in there. So is this our tactical? Like what? I'm so confused. Okay.
It must be.
Thanks, Pharaoh. I'm going to take a real deep dive on the file. No, it's like I'm at work. Hey, I'm going to deep dive that for you guys. Thanks.
He is at work. That's his job.
It's true. It's just giving me nightmares. So Well, if we can't, Caliber says, well, if we can't, if we go to Alchemex, we can't guarantee that we will find these guys. There'd be some security and probably looking for a fight. I don't think we are getting paid enough to take on heavily fortified, super secret laboratory full of God knows what.
True.
We were supposed to figure out who was robbing these places.
Right?
And of course, the next page, they are uniforming up again, but they're in their traditional uniforms.
Oh, so these uniforms were just their like hanging out clothes?
I don't know, because now they're in uniform, but now all of a sudden, like, we've got their colors back and Spectre's talking like the Spectre again. These weird pink purple words.
Are we reading two different comics?
I don't know. I mean, I'm right here.
I'm just joking with you. No. I mean, I like it. I like the bringing it back to this. All right.
You all know what's at stake with this mission. I have come to trust the fuel of my life, says Boulder. But I have also heard murmurs of discontent, although I don't share your concerns. We just found out about the discontent. Okay.
Yes.
So he says, we will be legends, glory in battles, Boulder says. And he says, so we're storming the beaches of Virmire. Editor's note, Virmire is a planet in the video game called Mass Effect where the massive battle takes place. I'm glad they told us that because you probably know that, but I had no idea.
It's true. I do.
See, and that's what makes you superior in pop culture knowledge to me. Not only do you know about comic books, you know about Mass Effect.
I mean, I just have the games on the shelf in the other room.
Well, it must be fun.
Multiple versions. Not versions,
a first-person shooter.
It is like, it's hard. It's not. It's like an RPG. It's like it's a little bit of everything. Is
it an RPG first-person shooter?
If that's what you call it.
Well, anyway,
like third person.
As you figure out what Mass Effect is and how to categorize it.
It's beautiful. That's what it is. And since you have to ask questions about it, you peasant don't deserve to know.
Well, on the next page, we have a drunken cat at the bottom of the page. That's really happy.
Semedi's back.
And he's drunk with his stogie burning. And can you stage an intervention for a cat, says Caliber. We got a lot of dialogue here. It looks like everything's going to hell in town, but they're just hanging out.
Yep.
And Boulder's like, okay, but Spectre's alcoholics, cat aside, yeah, we're all good. We can just head out. So they are going to go do the mission. And of course, Reach is going to hang back because he's a traitor, and that's what he does.
What a turd.
Plus, he doesn't have a cool, different uniform to switch into anymore, apparently. Like with the helmet, like his old helmet and stuff.
Yeah, apparently. He's just lame.
He is kind of lame. That soul patch is not okay.
He looks like a early, maybe like a early 90s Stephen King.
Kind of, yeah. With a bodysuit.
With a bodysuit. Yeah.
If Stephen King was going scuba diving.
Could be.
Well, maybe he'll have his feet cut off with an axe.
I mean, does he have feet?
I don't know. We haven't really seen them. So it is very clear that Christopher Michael can draw feet because, like, the checks on the other page are perfect. So
yeah, we saw feet. We saw him actually when he flew out the window. He had rocket feet. So
that's right. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were making fun of his ability to draw feet. This isn't Rob.
No. I was like for a minute, I didn't recall any of the feet looking particularly bad in these games. I mean, I wasn't necessarily looking for the feet, but they all seem to look fine. Their feet are fine, man.
I never was drawn to the feet and thought, man, everybody's feet are pointy and point inward.
What's wrong with these feet? They all look like duck.
How come all the feet are drawn off the page?
They all.
In fact, there's very fine feet on the next page too.
Are they?
Well, they get in the van, and it looks like, is Pharaoh driving them?
No, they're not in the van, man. It's not a van, man.
The car. Sorry,
it's a car.
Pharaoh's car. Okay, so
no, it's not Pharaoh.
Getting dropped off by their dad to go fight at a mini storage.
It's a dude that just kind of looks oddly like him, but it's not.
Oh, it's not. It's their Uber driver. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
They give him a thing for free boulder dashes instead of on a piece of toilet paper.
Yeah.
Wow. They didn't pay this guy?
They didn't pay him.
That's fantastic. So I mean, this is like when you screw over people on a D&D adventure, it always comes back to haunt you.
This is true. They screwed over their mount.
Yeah, I mean, they should really pay this guy or feed him or something.
The ferryman, like, I mean, it's like when you're trying to cross the river Styx and you don't pay up.
This is not okay.
Yeah, not all right, man.
And that grin too. Yeah.
Ooh.
Spectre must not have been paying attention because I think he would have put a stop to that.
Yeah. Oh, but Boulder knew what he was doing.
Oh,
it's
he's
very
from ear to ear.
bold of him.
He's like, I got this. He's like, charisma level 19.
Don't look at it until we leave.
He rolled like a 18 and then got a bonus or something.
Yeah. +5.
Charisma +5. Turning on. I now have Boulder charisma. I have charismatic charisma. That made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they are now breaking. Let's see. Spectre gets out one of his cool knives. He actually remembered them this time.
Oh, sweet. His knives are the coolest.
He tosses it to the other side of the fence. And that makes him Wow. Did he just teleport? Did he learn a new spell?
He
learned a new spell. Good for Spectre. Well, that's cool. And he's showing off, of course. So he's using his spell slots right away, right?
Oh, like, yeah.
Yeah, there goes like a 3rd level spell. We haven't even gotten to the fight yet. And Caliber calls it out. He's like, we just walked in because it was unlocked.
Oh, man. Why you gotta ruin it, Caliber?
Yeah. And Spectre's like, I feel like you're missing the opportunities. I just wanted to do that. It's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, poor Spectre. He just really wanted to, show him his juice.
Spectre needs Semedi, right? Like, this is ridiculous. Without Semedi there, he's just not as cool.
Yeah, but he's got a drunk cat back at the pad.
I mean, the other two are still in costume too, and he's still wearing like a jacket with a hoodie. So
it's true. His costume it blends, man. It's like it's comfortable.
It's chill. It's like, if he was wearing some like cargo shorts, he'd be Pacific Northwest chic.
Yeah. I mean, his jacket looks like it could be a members only jacket.
So members only jacket, a hoodie, and cargo shorts.
Oh yeah,
and Chucks. Yeah,
that's my look.
Yeah,
they drew me.
Need like some. You don't need Chucks. You need some boots on.
Some boots, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they're on the outside. They're ready to come in, and they go inside, and they're like, "Uh-oh, it's too quiet." And an explosion happens because there's a trap, and they didn't check for traps.
Nope. Cool guys walk into explosions.
They didn't track. I can't believe they didn't check for traps. Like,
they didn't.
Seriously? How many times have you gone to a room without checking for traps today?
Oh, yeah, no. Like, you always have to check for traps. Always. Even if, like, you have a good feeling that there's no traps, you should always check for traps.
You should always check for traps, because every time I don't check for traps, there's a trap.
And if you think, like, think everything's good, you should just punch the walls, because that wall might not be a real wall.
Yeah. And now Spectre's pouting again. He got left outside. The tanks went inside and got blown up. He's like, hey, guys, I could just throw fireballs and teleport, but I'm stuck out here with my phone. And then...
Is he playing Pokemon Go?
I don't know, but...
It looks like it.
Is walking up behind him. Yeah, he kind of looks...
He kind of looks like a Pokemon, like a Poke Trainer.
Well... If he was playing Pokemon Go, it was a bad idea because he wasn't paying attention, because some guy about like 7 inches taller than him taps him on the shoulder.
It's go time now.
And he's like, alone in a dark alleyway, a mysterious tap on the shoulder. I'm about to get murdered, aren't I? He's like, oh, I've seen your movie before. I think you're confused. We're definitely not near any summer camps. And so now we're back in the office, and we find out what's going on.
Oh, man.
We've got... let's see. We've got Proud Boy here that throws fireballs, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a guy with one blue claw.
Blue Claw.
And he's saying his name, Blue Claw.
Blue
and Boulder's
Claw.
like, to point it out, that man has a claw for a hand. Yeah, so we've got one guy that looks like one of the member of the Proud Boys throwing fireballs, and we got another one that looks like one of those crappy He-Man characters at the end of the He-Man run.
Yeah.
Like Fister.
Hey, Fister's cool. He tried, but he couldn't fist them all.
Uh-huh.
That's what he says.
Yeah. Uh-huh. The best was when they were just like murdered in the new He-Man.
Just straight up murdered.
Sorry, spoiler.
Oh my gosh. Some people might not have ever seen it.
Did you?
No, yes, I did. You got to read the line that this fireball thrower says.
Sorry, we ain't going back there. You can tell that dick Daryl Baskins to go to hell.
Blue Claw.
Blue Claw.
Blue Claw.
Name's Jose Tropical, and here's Blue Claw. Blue Claw. We ain't no trouble. 3 of us just ain't going back, telling Blue Claw. Blue Claw.
Blue Claw.
Yeah, so we got some fine dialogue here coming from Blue Claw and
3
and Flamethrower Proud. So, and he says 3. I only see 2.
Yeah.
Is there a midget hanging around? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Little person.
Nah, man. The big feller's guarding the band. Okay. And he's like, my shenanigans senses are tingling.
Uh-oh.
And
guys.
Oh. And now he's like, now Spectre chimes in, guys, I'm in a bad movie here. Oh, now they just figured out where the other guy is.
Yup.
And he sends Boulder to go help Spectre because Calibur's going to take out 2 people. Because what happens on an adventure when you split up, Greg?
Bad things. Not good stuff.
And they split up again. You know, it's issue 4 now. You think they would have, if they're 4th level, you'd think they would have learned not to split up.
You would think, but sometimes people never learn.
But Boulder and Calibur just love to go off together, always putting the 2 tanks in the party together.
Yeah,
even the magic user all by his lonesome.
Yeah,
he is attacking this guy with some sort of maybe fireball, and the other guy's got a giant, awesome, cool skull and bones energy shield.
It's pretty sweet.
And here we go.
Oh.
And Spectre's still the only one talking here. This other guy is not talking. He's doing a lot of punching, though.
Yeah. Oh,
and it's not going good.
No.
You don't leave your magic user out just to get punched in the face. This is bad times.
Spectre gets worked.
Spectre does not do well in hand-to-hand combat. I think we've established that over the few issues here.
Huh? Yeah, no, he is not, like, he's good at what he can do, but the things that he can't do, which is hand-to-hand combat, not his forte. People,
but he's good at advertising energy drinks. So,
oh yeah, good. I mean, now I'm thirsty and I want one.
Well, Boulder gets out there and says, "I thought he'd be bigger."
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
Now the other guy finally talks. Who you, little man? Do you fight or just run your mouth? And he's like, "I do both."
Oh,
Boulder. So here we go, and he says, "Well, that didn't go as planned." As he punches a shield and then gets grabbed by the neck.
Oh man, that's not good.
And Spectre's like, "Hey, why are you letting him choke you?" It's like Boulder attacked and rolled a 1 and hit a shield and got grabbed by the neck.
Yeah, Boulder should be doing better, but Boulder's doing worse.
And here we are. It looks like Caliber did take care of business because he's already out shooting the guy.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh damn.
That's a sword to the belly.
Yeah. Ah.
And the guy in the mask who we don't know is like, I didn't mean to. And here we go. And Boulder uses Unbroken Crush on him and knocks him silly. And Caliber's just standing there. I guess I'm immune to all this bullshit.
Man, that lucky dude, because he would have been, that's like getting a shish kebab, man.
I'm curious how he became immune to all this, but that's interesting.
Yeah.
And there's Spectre's like, hey, I told you he didn't believe in magic. Boulder was almost in tears, and that was something. And Caliber's like, I mean, who wouldn't be after such an Oscar-winning performance? So we are going to do about Goliath there. So because he doesn't believe in magic, it doesn't affect him? Maybe. Okay.
Maybe, or maybe he's already dead.
It's a good question. We don't know, but
he came back. He came back from the dead is what we believe.
Pretty much,
but
yeah.
Maybe he is dead and he's a zombie.
I don't know. Well, we get to be continued on the next page, but we got some commentary Boulder says he said he's not going back, but back where? And Spectre's like, I don't think we can return him either. He's sort of damaged. Also smells like Alchemex. And Caliber, well, you're not wrong. Jose said that's who they were hiding from. They thought Alchemex sent us after them.
Oh.
So Boulder's like, well, let's wake Tinkerbell up and tell him we're on the same side. And Spectre's like, hey, we don't know the extent of his powers. He could be a spectral porcupine. I'm not touching him. So we got some continued dissension in the ranks here, as depending on how the battle went for each person.
Yeah.
And we get to be continued. Next issue, it's time to see what Alchemex is up to. How are they making these superpowered beings? Do they know how Crick got their powers? Find
Why
out
are they making them?
next time in Intestinal Fortitude.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And that's going to be coming from Homebrewed Comics real soon, or maybe right now on Kickstarter.
Right now. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and link the Kickstarter for everyone if you want to pick up issue 5.
Do it, because, like, I mean, like, I got to find out what happens next. I'm kind of invested now. And
I want to know where Semedi is.
He was drunk, man. But, like, I mean, in this next image, you got, like, Intestinal Fortitude. Right, it's an interesting look. You got the 4 that we know, Semedi and this big dude.
I mean, it hasn't impacted Semedi in the past when he was drunk.
Well, maybe he was totally taken for a loop this time. I don't know. He's a cat.
He is a cat. So cats have how many lives?
9? So maybe he used one.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I feel like he's used a lot based on his drinking.
Probably.
I don't think cats' livers are that big.
No, they're probably not. Probably not. Not at all. Probably tiny. Small.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to say something else.
I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. No, cats' livers are tiny. I don't know what else to say.
I got nothing else to say here.
Link the Kickstarter in the comments. Tell people where to go.
Well, do you have a Kickstarter in the works?
Do I?
Yeah.
Not currently.
Okay. You're just sending out from the last Kickstarter?
No, we're sending out from the last Kickstarter, and then we'll be talking up. Well, I mean, like, I guess the team and I we're working up and putting out from Overcast another book, so we're bringing into the mix.
Into the Overcast universe?
Into the Overcast universe, or into the house of Overcast. We have art by Don Wynn and words by Mike Tanner. It is.
So what is
Grapple.
The project?
I was getting there.
Would you get there?
I'm trying to.
I mean, you're telling me who the artist is and who the writer is before you even tell me what the name of the book or the concept is. Like, you're going backwards.
I know. That's because I'm trying to hype up the team, the main team there, and then then we get you in with Grapple Punch.
Grapple Punch.
I believe
what's that about? Title. Grappling?
It's space wrestling.
Is it like Fister except his hand flies off?
No.
Oh.
No, it's space wrestling.
It's not Fister with a chain?
No, it's like, space wrestling.
Like Grapple Punch. Did you see what I did there?
I did.
Grapple Punch.
Yeah.
So it's like a grappling hook, but it's like a fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And additional lines and other art in the book by Dave Wheeler as well. So that's the main team right there. And then Travis doing what Travis does.
I heard that Michael Tanner's a pretty good writer.
I hear he's pretty good. Has
he done anything else besides this?
He might have done a book that I'm linked to, the Junior Braves of the Apocalypse.
You were killing me today.
What? But he's also known for Orcs in Space with Abed Yee. So
Junior Braves of the Apocalypse.
Yes.
Of the Apocalypse. Orcs in Space. And a few other things.
And he's been in some fantastic anthologies and other fantastic fine works.
I can't wait till he listens to this, which he's not going to do, but I can't wait till he listens to this to find the glowing way you promoted his book.
He should expect less.
I'm going to assume that Mike does the editorial pitches while you sit with your hands folded in the corner.
No, I usually go in and I'm like, all right, so you want to see something cool? It's like, this is, and essentially it is, you've seen me on Crazy Cloud 9. That's where it's at. And they're just bedazzled with it.
So you bedazzle while Mike sells them the book.
I tell them how good the donuts taste.
Exactly.
And then they want to buy them.
Okay.
But we're not selling donuts.
Yeah, you're selling
comic books.
Yeah, that's kind of where I thought. Well, I guess the moral of the story here is, hey, C.R.I.T, fun indie book so far. We've on Kickstarter. A lot of folks use Kickstarter as a means to get out stories that might not be published in other ways, or to just capture the money for their work. And let's face it, it's not like you're making a ton of money on Kickstarter. A lot of times you're just covering the cost of the paper and the book and getting it printed. But it's neat for stories to be able to get out to folks in different ways. And of course, we're talking about some of Greg's Kickstarters. Well, we were alluding to which Kickstarters, Greg?
Oh, Starlight and
so
Grapple
Starlight
Punch and
from Overcast Comics. These are, of course, from Homebrewed Comics. And
yes,
I get a lot of Kickstarters right now. I just re-upped for a book called Alpha Dogs today, which I really enjoyed the first issue of.
Nice.
And so probably paid too much for the second issue because I was like, I like this. And of course, you know me. So I got to get both covers. And I'm a bad Kickstarter. I'm a bad example for Kickstarter. I buy all the stuff, but you don't have to go and spend $33 on that Kickstarter. You go spend $5 and just get the digital copy. And I'm sure that the authors are just as happy because their work's being spread around. So
this is true. This
is not a secret. I love the history of comics. We can go back in time and talk about all sorts of great books throughout history. And I love mainstream comics, but there's a lot of great storytellers out there. And I think to turn it back to this book, I think so far in 4 issues, I think the pluses here, I think it's a fun story. They definitely stay on theme from this sort of role-playing theme. It seems like the characters are sort of learning as they go. They're not perfect. It's not like they go in and have the right tactics every single time. We've got a traitor in our midst that I don't know about yet. And I think, I mean, if this is funny book forensics, I would also be a little bit critical. There were some editorial things here that seemed a little wonky. I've got some box error, word bubbles not pointing to the right people, and I didn't really get I don't know, maybe I missed it, so it could just be me as a reader, but I sort of missed like the explanation of the different uniforms and a couple of different things. But overall, those things aside, small editorial team, people doing this for the love of it. I think it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you pointed out a good thing is that thematically it being based on role playing and how they're creating these characters and things like that. Maybe that might be how and why, as we talked about earlier when we were discussing this, that they were leveling up. So some of the changes in their costume design and maybe in their dialogue and the way that they were presenting as characters might have just been based off of their XP that they have from the previous 3 issues going into this 4th one.
And I'm looking back through this. I kind of complained about the art a little bit in the first issue. It seemed kind of a couple things disjointed to me, but I really think they nailed it in this issue. I think they put together the digital backgrounds with the front art, and I think it looks really good.
Yeah, no, I really feel like it's all coming together. It's tying up, and those things are nice. There's, like you said, there are a few things that kind of could use a little massaging and use some work, maybe hopefully for issue 5. If they catch these things, or maybe they're already seeing them, just those word bubbles, some of those editorial things, and like just maybe even just explaining like editor's notes for some of these character things, like, well, why are we using first names as opposed to character names when we've used character names the whole,
or editor's note, so and so is this, though they do that in front of the book. I mean, we'll say that they've got the little character bios,
and they did that for the Mass Effect thing, but there was a couple times where I was like, oh, it would have been nice if they just said what's going on in an editor's note for this or that.
Just use their code names right while they're out in the field and things like that. So it's just but these are small criticisms in the big scheme of things, and I really like. Again, I can't stress. In the first issue, it felt like some of the backgrounds were disjointed in relation to the foreground art, and I really think they got it. They got it right, blended together. Especially like if we'll go to that 2-page spread where Spectre's fighting the shield guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's a really cool. I mean, I don't think they overuse 2-page spreads, which is why this stands out, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're not overusing that stuff. There's still a lot of panels in the book, but I like this. I like how he uses it, and it shows how ineffective he is. But I like how the mini storage stands in the background. Like it doesn't stand out to me like that convenience store did in the first issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and then you can tell this is definitely written by people who have a love for comics and storytelling through role play, in the sense that they're telling the story in this really unique fashion through the role play aesthetic, but also in the storytelling through imagery and the use of those page turns where there's a moment and then all of a sudden you're blown away by that next panel, and it's just like, I mean, when Caliber gets stabbed by the sword, it's like, oh my gosh! And they had me for a whole entire page because it plays out through multiple panels. What's happening? What's going to happen? Is he going to die? I mean, like, and I was on the hook. I honestly thought, oh crap, man, he's done.
Yeah, they got me. They got me too. And or he was going to be severely wounded again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say one more thing for this. I feel like I'm pitching their book now, so this isn't necessarily the intent. This is part of the criticism part, but the PDFs are really high res. They weren't cheap. On my tablet, actually, I have I have about a 5-year-old tablet, and I was having trouble turning the pages. I actually had to go to my computer to read this last issue because the PDFs were so high res, it was sort of spinning on my on my tablet. So yeah, I think nice. You're getting high quality stuff.
So what you're saying is too good for your old equipment.
It was too good for my old equipment.
So if you have old equipment, it's just not a book for you. Don't even do it.
No, that's not what I said.
Just don't even. Oh, no, that's not what he's saying. He's saying it's really good. It's really worth it. It's going to be a beautiful purchase. You're going to love it. Just make sure that your system requirements are up to par.
It was a bit much for my Galaxy Tab S2.
Yeah, no, I had the same. I honestly made the mistake of trying to pop it open on my really not so great phone. The first issue, I tried to open it on my phone, and I was like, this is a bad idea because one, this is a lot to see, and two, my phone cannot handle the file. But looking at it on the computer, whoo, beautiful.
Well, with that in mind, I think it's probably time to wrap up this adventure.
Yeah.
Put the dice away.
All right. Wait for Semedi to come back another day.
Yeah, that works. We're out. Thanks, Greg. Great episode. And that was one more episode of Funny Book Forensics.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, listeners.
Later.